So when I slide, I fucking dig it. And so I just like, so she was like, here we have this thing called college.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So we are live here from Laurentian Lanes in Quebec, Montreal. So this is the 2.5-hour practice session for the 2025 Canadian team trials.
Yep, we have all 5 patterns out here for our bowlers to hop around lane to lane, test out some equipment, and figure out which balls they want to register for this week's event.
Yeah, so looking at the patterns, that is going to be a challenging week. Looking at the roster, I believe we've got 69 men and 38 women. Just let me double check that. So yeah, 68 men and 37 women in the last thing. So my name's Jeff Kovac. We got Kurt Ridgewell here with me. So we're going to be your hosts here. So we've got 2.5-hour practice session today. We've got 7:45 a.m. tomorrow and 1 p.m. tomorrow. Same thing Wednesday, Thursday, same start time, I believe, and finals are at noon on Thursday. So we've got about 26 to 28 hours, I think, here of live coverage from Laurentian Lanes, bringing you the team trials here. So as Kurt mentioned earlier here, there's 5 different patterns. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring those up on the screen right now. We'll cover our face so you can see them. They are up there. I'll leave them up for a minute. But challenging patterns.
Yep, challenging patterns. And we have 6 games across the first 4 patterns. And the longevity of this tournament is really the hard part. You know, we do talk about how challenging these patterns are, but to be able to put scores together across multiple patterns, across multiple days, is very difficult to do. But we're really excited to watch this week's competition and see who our representatives are going to be for Team Canada on both the men's and women's side, along with our juniors.
Yeah, so we'll get into the patterns here. So day 1, shift 1, we've got 42 feet, 28 mils of oil, ratio 2.6 to 1. So all these patterns you see there are going to be low ratio. Let's get through here. Shift 2 is 39 feet. I believe that is going to be the shortest pattern. It's got a lot of oil in the head, and it's buffed down to 39 feet. 29 mil, 2.28 to 1. Pattern 3, or day 2, shift 3, 41 feet, 28 mils of oil, 3.06 to 1. Just looking at them, I think that might be one of the higher scoring patterns, just by the shape of the pattern. You've got nice steps up the side of the pattern there, 41 feet. I think that might be.
Yeah, it's also looking like it's the highest ratio we have at 3 to 1.
Yeah, and then day 2, shift 4, we've got 43 feet. That's 25.5 mils and 2.5 to 1. That would be. So let me get back to how this works. So we've got everybody bowls 3 qualifying squads. So everybody bowls 2 squads tomorrow. Everybody bowls the first squad on Wednesday, and then they cut to the top 50% for the second squad on Wednesday. So that would be the shift 4. That would be 43 feet, 25.5, 2.5 to 1. And then from there to the final day on Thursday, they take the top 12. So if you look on your far right of the screen, you have that pattern. It's 45 feet. So that's going to be the longest pattern of the tour trials here. 45 feet, 26.72 milliliters, 2.32 to 1. But if you look, it has that block. It's like, I want to say 13 or 14 feet, probably to 28, 29 feet, and it's just right across. It's just a block of oil.
Yep, pretty flat on the outsides there.
You know, just looking at the patterns, for those that do make the top 12, I think it's going to be a very challenging day for them. But we'll see. So just running down the roster here, I just want to talk. I'm going to get those patterns off. Just give me a second. Okay, so just running down the roster here, some names that that people might know here. Obviously, there is a lot of talent in these fields. We have Alexander Garreau. I believe he was a team member.
Yes, he was runner-up last year.
Runner-up last year. So we've got Darren Alexander, current team member, and he won.
He's our reigning champion here at the Canadian Team Trials.
Trying to defend that, we have PBA member Francois Lavoie, PBA member Graham Fa. Who do we have here? We have Jacob Emu from out in BC, who was a youth team member.
Yes.
And I do not see a star next to his name.
Oh, so he's no longer youth eligible. So Jacob will be looking to make the main team this year, and I think he does have it in him. He is quite a talent.
Yeah, we also have Jordan Jung. He was a team member as well. He's from out in BC with JR Pro Shop along with Jacob. Mathis Blanchette. He's on there. PBA member Mitch Houpe. Coming down here, current team member Sly Young.
Yep.
Who else do we have here? And right at the bottom of the list, we have Zachary Wilkins, PBA member Zach Wilkins.
Yep, finished top 10 in points last year in the PBA Tour. He had such an amazing year out there. We haven't seen Zach at team trials since, I believe, 2018 or 2019. So It's been quite a while for him. So we're really glad to have him back, because having a guy who is as good as him represent your country is a great thing.
Yeah. And then I believe he was eighth in points. Coming back over to the women's side, looking down there, we have PWBA member Felicia Wong. We have Jade Cote. She was a team member. Just going down here, May Yen La Chapelle.
She's currently on the youth and women's team.
Yes, and then this name I want to talk about, Miranda Panis.
Okay.
So, I believe the last 3 team trials here, she has won.
Okay, yeah.
So, this is her house.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not from Quebec, but she's going to be one to keep an eye on. In the past, she has always bowled very well here.
Yeah, I recall 2 years ago she had made the step ladder, and she was not the number 1 seed, so she had to beat the high seed twice, and she managed to do so in order to win the Canadian Championship.
Yeah.
Most of our current teams are returning to compete again this year. We're just missing a few. Travis Colley is not here.
Yep.
And Nathan Reyes-Lejoie.
Yes.
Hope I didn't butcher that one.
Yeah.
Marissa Naylor also, I believe she backed out at the last minute. I'm not sure what happened with her, but hope all is well. And from our junior team, we're missing Chris Eston. He was in the final 12 last year, and he was on the junior team, but he is not returning this year. Everyone else is back.
Okay, so another name here I want to mention on the women's side, Jennifer Bassana. She was the winner of the women's side last year at, I believe, Burlington Bowl it was at.
Yes.
So she's another one to keep an eye on. There are many, there's a lot of talent here this week.
Yep,
So,
this is Canada's best in the bowling. And they're here to show off their skills and make Team Canada. Everyone here wants to represent their country. And we got about 100 bowlers out here today.
yeah.
And we're excited for the week ahead.
Yeah, one thing too I wanted to mention is that if you do look at the roster, especially the women's side, it's almost 50% youth.
Wow.
And I believe the men's side out of, I want to say it's maybe a third, are youth. So it's good to see that the younger bowlers are out here. They're competing. They want to represent their country at the top level. So they are out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little short break here off the mics. We're doing things a little differently today. So I have 3 cameras plus the booth camera here. I've got 2 that are fixed that we're going to be switching between. And then I have 1 camera that's mobile. So we can walk around. We're going to follow a couple people. We're going to see what's going on. Get a little different angle. But once we start the competition, all 3 cameras are going to be up at the top, going to be fixed. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned. Throughout the day too, we're going to try and have some of the bowlers, if they're taking a break, to come in here into the booth, chat with us a little bit. We're trying to get some people you know, maybe some people you don't know, give them a little bit of exposure here on the live stream. So stay tuned, and we'll be back soon. All right, everybody, thanks. We've got about 50 people watching. This is the 2.5-hour practice session of the 2025 Canadian Team Trials. So it's just practice. They've got all 5 patterns out on the lanes for the 2.5 hours of practice. 5 patterns. Let me bring them up here on the screen. All patterns are up there. So in the chat there, I see Jason D, hello, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. So right now we've got 3 cameras going. We've got Kurt, he's down there on the lower end with the mobile camera that's walking around catching some of the action. That's only for today. The other 2 cameras are fixed. No one's on the low end. So I put one down there, I believe pattern 5 is out. The majority of the people right now are bowling on the day, on the shift 1, 2, and 3 pattern. I mean, really, to get through, you got to get through those to advance. So I think that's what people are concentrating on, are those patterns, the first 3, because you're guaranteed to bowl the first 3 squads anyways. The top 50% make it to the 4th squad, the top 12 make it to the 5th squad. So as Kurt's down there wandering around, we're going to check out some of these bowlers. We'll be flipping back and forth as he wanders around. But try and get some action. So thanks for tuning in. This is just practice. It's a practice day, something we don't usually stream here. I wanted to do this to test a few things out, get a few different camera angles and all that. Hopefully, once practice starts winding down, we will be joined by some bowlers to come and join us here in the booth and chat. We are live here at Laurentian Lanes in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We've got about 68 men and 37 women competing for those spots on Team Canada. So I'm just going to go back. Kurt's wandering around there with the camera. We're going to catch some more action.
Go ahead, I'm not filming anything.
Okay, just coming back here really quick. So we are just running the live stream here. There is a comment there from Von Grims. Are the patterns being used new or just renamed city patterns? I don't think they were renamed city patterns, but I will tell you a few of them look similar to patterns looked, I believe, in the USA team trials in a couple previous years.
Yeah. These aren't the typical. Typically we bowl on the Montreal, the LA, and different city name patterns at this tournament. They're going away from that route this year, and they're just using some different patterns that they've named themselves as, you know, day 1, shift 2 and stuff, but they are reused patterns from, I do believe, previous U.S. trials.
Yeah, let me bring that up there. So we were talking about this earlier too. I did mention it. If the bowlers do make it to that shift 5, the top 12, that pattern with that block in it, it did look very similar to yesterday's USA team trials on day 3. Not the exact same modified, but kind of the same pattern. So yeah, it does appear that they got away from those city named patterns and have gone with these. We don't know what they were, but as you can see, they've just renamed them, you know, day 2, shift 3. It could have been another pattern in the Kegel library that they took, possibly modified a little bit for the tournament and just gave it the generic name. So that's basically, like I said, we're just running the live stream. We don't have that 100% info. I'm not exactly sure who picked the pattern. I know they do ask input from Kegel, from I believe Mark Lufa, others on the team. I'm sure Coach Ty Rose. I haven't seen him around here today. I saw him yesterday at the hotel. He's around. I'm sure he had input on that as well. I'm just going to pull those off the screen. One thing I will say, I'm a little bit surprised is there's nothing really shorter than 39 feet. I kind of expected, you know, a 35 foot.
Yeah, we typically do have one pattern that stands out as a very short pattern. I do believe, though, internationally at a lot of tournaments, they're not putting out short patterns very often anymore. So they kind of want our to have our team selection made through patterns that they're going to see similarly globally.
Yeah, I believe that would be the reason. You know, like I say, they're all between 39 and 45 feet, but they vary. They're all over the place, so it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, and what I'll do is maybe if I see Ty walking around earlier or later, I'll ask him and see if we can get some input on those patterns, who selected them, how that was done. I'm sure he might have a little info on that. But like I said, I haven't seen him yet. He's probably wandering around here. He hides pretty well. We'll try and get him on the live stream to talk a little of those, answer that question. So
yeah, if you're looking to see any bowlers or maybe have them come in the booth and do a little chat, let us know in the chat who you're watching for.
Yep. So okay, we're gonna get back to the lanes here. Watch a little more bowling. That camera 4 on the high end on that day 5 pattern. There's not a lot of people down there. So we're staying here. We're set up behind lane 40, 39 to 41. And then I'm going to wander down the low end right now with the mobile camera, see who else we can get down there because it's packed. Maybe here's what I'm going to do. Hold on. Let me switch to this here. And you can see on the lower end all the people that are down there.
Yep, they put the first few patterns down there. So everyone kind of wants to try those ones out first because in order to bowl on the 4th and 5th patterns, you're going to have to bowl well on the first 3.
Yep, exactly.
So people want to make sure they have the right ball choices for those 3 patterns, and then I'm sure they'll head down and throw a few shots on that last day pattern and make sure that they have the 9 balls that they want to register for this week's event.
Yes, so we're going to cut off now for a couple minutes, but be sure, like, subscribe, hit us up in the chat, share with your friends because we got a lot more bowling action live here coming from Laurentian Lanes. Actually, before I do that, before I cut down there, I'm going to bring this up on the screen here. Just a shout out to the sponsors from the Canadian Tenpin Federation. We've got CPM Moving in Atlas Canada, Laurentian Lanes, Dexter, Bufa Distribution, Sport Canada, and Fana. Without these companies supporting, we would not be where we're at here today. So thank you to those guys. Support them. They support bowling, so they're up on the screen. Check them out. All their sponsor links are in the info for you to click on. Go to their websites as well.
Yeah, they're shiny and big.
can go.
I think I'm wearing a 9.
Okay, and I'm back from wandering around there with the camera a little bit, trying to get a little more action on there. So Von Grimm's there in the chat. You said you noticed Fahoop and Lavoie are playing this time around in 2024 trials. Didn't they just get the invite or something changed with how the team, how they choose team members? So I believe there are definitely a few selections. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure to be selected, you have to bowl every other year.
Yeah, so at our team trials, we host these every year. There are 6 members that will make both the men's and women's teams after this week. And then the team can select up to another 4 men and 4 women to create a team of 10 or 8, however they seem fitting. So those guys didn't bowl our trials last year because the tour season started the same week. So they were the selection uses, and they were able to go on the team due to the selection process.
Yeah, so then I mean they can bowl their way onto the team this year, and then I believe they don't have to bowl next year. They can put in their resume to be selected, but I'm pretty sure it's that every other year they still have to compete in the trials to be eligible on that. But from a fan aspect here this week, the field is stacked. There's a lot of talented bowlers. You know, the PBA guys, plus there's a ton of other talent. Just looking at their, I think this has the possibility to be one of the best teams. Just looking at the names on there, and there's a bunch of people that can get on there. Jason D. So who went to IBF for Canada? That is going on now. So as far as I know, Canada did not send a team to the IBF. I know the U.S. did. They sent Packy, Prather, I forget who else, but there were 4 of them that went. But I think it's horrible timing with the timing of that IBF tournament.
Yeah, because the American team trials are happening at the same time, so those guys are missing out on that. But then again, I believe the American team makes selections too, so they could select those guys to represent the USA next year if they wanted to.
Yeah, they sent 4 men, 4 women. But as far as I know, all of Team Canada is pretty much here, so I don't believe they sent a team. Pretty bad time. So I'm just looking around here. Things are starting to spread out a little bit, but the majority of the people are still on that low end with the shift 1 to 3 patterns. People are starting to migrate down to the 4 and 5. But yeah, so we thank everybody for tuning in here. Right now we got about 54 people watching. It is just a practice session, so there's not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot to talk about, no scores to talk about. Just seeing who's here, watching some of the guys throw the ball. I mentioned we're going to try and get some guys in here in the booth to chat with us, but right now everyone's still bowling. We're, what time is it? Yeah, a little over an hour in, about 70 minutes into the practice here. It goes from 11 a.m. Eastern time till 1:30 p.m.
Yeah, previously they have separated practice sessions, so they had a 2-hour block and a later 2-hour block, but they're just going with the 2.5 hour block this year. So I think it's a little better. It gets more balls going down the same lane, so you're able to see more of a transition because everybody's here for the one practice squad rather than splitting people up.
Yeah, and really I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative because, I mean, with practice, you're trying to get lined up. You're trying to see what balls will work. When you hit the actual qualifying squad, in my opinion, it's probably going to play different.
Oh, absolutely. The 2 ends of this house do play very different, and the women, although practicing on the pattern on the low end, they will be bowling their entire tournament on the high end. So they're going to see a little bit of difference in the pattern, the way it plays when it comes to our qualifying squads tomorrow. But still, they get a decent look of the pattern to figure out which equipment they want to register. And of course, the most important thing of the practice session is just getting comfortable in the house and, getting your feet under you, just trying it out. Some of these bowlers may not have bowled here before.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people here. There are a lot of bowling balls. It's tough to navigate around here with a camera, but it's great to see all the young talent out here trying to compete for Team Canada. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a break here, flip through cameras. I think I'm going to go down to the high end or I'll send Kurt down there with the camera, or I'll go. We'll flip back and see who else we can see down there. All right, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we just sent Kurt down on one more run with the mobile camera. Check out a couple more bowlers there. While we're in here, check out the info on the video here. It has the complete schedule. But just to give a rundown, this is the practice session until 1:30. Tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. I believe practice is 7:45. And then a 1 o'clock squad. Same thing with Wednesday, 8 a.m., 1 p.m. Thursday, 8 a.m., and then I believe the finals are scheduled for around 12 o'clock. That might shift around a little bit depending on the time, how quick everyone bowls and all that. But that's basically it. All the patterns are in the info along with the schedule and the link to each YouTube video. So be sure to like, subscribe, like you guys all in the chat. Chatting up. There'll be a lot more to chat as we go on with the tournament. Right now, like I said, being practice session, we're just seeing who's here, seeing who's throwing what. Everyone's scoping out the lanes, trying to figure out so they can check in 9 bowling balls. I believe most people that'll be 8 plus a spare ball. And then this practice session gives them that opportunity to figure out what 8 pieces plus their spare ball that they want to check in, or maybe even 9 bowling balls. Maybe they won't have a spare ball. I'm not sure, but that's all this is about. Not too much to talk about. We already talked about who's here. Haven't had anybody come and join us yet in the chat. Everyone's bowling. We're 90 minutes in, been an hour and a half. Looks like everybody is still bowling, so they're using this time wisely. Trying to see what works for them. As soon as things start winding down, like I said, we're going to try and get some people in here, try and get some interviews, see who we can. But we'll be back shortly.
Yeah, they only hear me. Okay, good. We're bowling now on 27, 28. That's the day 1, shift 1. So tomorrow morning, tune in on the CDF Bowling YouTube channel. We'll see you guys there, and hope you have a great week. Ciao, guys.
Thanks, Matty.
I don't think they're going to hear all the thing, but...
going around filming everyone. We're live. It's live, yeah.
All right, just coming back on here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the 2.5-hour practice session of the 2025 CTF Canadian Team Trials. We are live here at Laurentian Lanes in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. For those just joining, been active in the chat, we thank you. And we've had one camera wandering around. It's starting to thin out. Everyone's starting to spread around a little bit. We've got all 5 patterns out there right now. So let me just pop those back up on the screen. They're not too big, but you can get an idea of what they are. Between 39 to 45 feet, varying volumes, all low ratio patterns, so they're all going to be challenging. Bowlers have to bring their best. This is the team trials to select the team, so they want the best. And so far, it looks like all the players, so we're almost 2 hours in, just shy of 2 hours to the practice session, and almost everybody is still bowling. A lot of people started off, the majority of the people started off on the shift 1s to 3 because everybody bowls the first 3 shifts. So you want to get lined up on there. They're allowed to pick 9 bowling balls, and they lined up off of that. One thing me and Kurt were talking about earlier is this practice session, everybody's all over the place. They might not play exactly the same today as they will tomorrow and into the future, but it should give you a general idea of what equipment they want to pick and go from there. So I'll just pull that back down, and while we do have a second here, I just want to thank the sponsors of this Canadian Tenpin Federation, Canada Preferred Moving and Atlas Canada, Laurentian Lanes, Dexter, Buffa Distribution, Sport Canada, and FAN. Be sure to visit them, support them, they support us. All right, so just bringing back Kurt on here, move that camera over there. So as you were wandering around with the camera, did you notice anything, or were you just paying attention to the camera?
Yeah, no, I was just walking around and trying to film some bowlers people might want to see. Did go down to the very high end there where they have that day 5 pattern, and it looked like a struggle for everybody. They were trying different things, different angles, and it's going to be a tight shot and a tough one for sure.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, that day 5 pattern is challenging, but that's going to be the top 12.
Yeah.
So everybody bowls the first 3 squads. After 3 squads, they cut to the top 50%. And then after the top 50%, they cut to the top 12. And then from there, the finals will be the top 3 step ladder. So we got Von Grimm's here in the chat. What do you expect the scoring pace to be like?
It's tough to say. My opinion, there's going to be some patterns that are going to be get your pins patterns, where the bowlers need to step up and really get their pins. And there's going to be some tough patterns where the bowlers need to just keep themselves alive, try and get 9 and make your spares.
Yeah. Looking at the patterns on paper, I think shift 3 is going to be the get your pins pattern, where it's going to be higher scoring. Experience matters. It's a grind here. There are so many games. You're bowling 6-game blocks, twice a day. It's a lot of bowling. I know there's bowling, like obviously your known names, your Frankie, your Mitch, Graham, Zach, those guys, all they do is bowl. And then other Team Canada members are bowling constantly. So we're from Windsor, Darren Alexander, Team Canada member here. I think he just walked behind us. I know he bowls everything he can bowl. It's a physical game.
Yeah, you got to get your reps in, and if you are a bowler in Canada who bowls some tournaments and you want to throw your hat in the mix next year, it will be in Windsor, Ontario, and it's really good experience. It truly is a grind, very humbling experience, I can tell from my own personal experiences, and it will make you a better bowler because you're going to come out here and learn. You're going to have a pattern where you think, wow, I can do this, and then you're going to see some patterns where you're like, what is this? And it can be a real mental grind out there.
Yeah, like you say, it can be humbling too, because even if your physical game is there, you have to bowl on these sport patterns. When the team is sent internationally, you're not bowling on house shots. You're bowling on these, 2-to-1 ratio patterns that are very tough. And sometimes too, I want to mention too, if we get to talk to Ty later, I want to talk to him about the last tournament there in Peru, where on paper the pattern playing differently. I guess the topography of the lanes and the center itself didn't match up to the pattern on paper where you're supposed to play. You can look at a pattern and say, okay, this is the general area where you want to be, and they weren't able to do that because of the lanes themselves, and they ran into a lot of problems down there, and it was very tough for everybody, not just Team Canada and all that. I believe Frankie and Mitch did win the medal there in doubles. But yeah, it's a grind. You got to be out here, like I say, you have to be ready physically, and then you have to be bowling on these sport patterns, and then you get here. House to house too. You can put out this pattern here, and then you can put it out at your home house, and it might be different.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done that in years past. Before team trials, I've gone to my home center. Okay. I've gone to my home center, laid out the patterns we would be bowling on to get an idea. And when you get to the actual house, it plays completely different. And that's lane surface and the topography of the house plays a huge factor. If a house is able to understand, like you were talking about Peru, if a house is able to understand their lane surface and the topography, then they're able to lay out a pattern that may be, inducive to certain scores. Because some houses may hook more than others, and you may want to use different types of oil. As for types of oil, here we are using the fire and ice, I believe, for the whole tournament of the 5 Kegel oils that they have.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. So Bufa Distribution, Mark Bufa, they always arrange the lane maintenance here for the team trials. They are using the new Atlas Pro from Kegel. I believe there is a Kegel representative here. His name has skipped my mind. They're running the machine, getting everything going.
His name is Chris. It's a longer name. It's a very European name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Atlas Pro machine, the best, brand new. machine doing the lane maintenance here. So in there we've got Austin Ducharme. He is absent from us. So give me 1 second. We are going to have a guest pop in here in 1 second. So I'm going to cut off Kurt. We'll be back in a second. All right, so first bowler interview.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so everyone watching should know Graham Fa.
That's me.
That is you. So, how were your holidays?
It was good. It was busy.
It was busy, yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of driving.
A lot of
We
driving.
drove up to see my mom and my family, and then drove back for New Year's, and then the long drive here.
Yeah. So where were you coming from?
I was staying with my college roommate, Brock Finch, in Belleville.
Okay.
So it's another 3.5 hours from there. It's about 9 hours to his place, so almost 13 hours.
So
to
lots of driving. So obviously you're bowling, nonstop. You're doing all that. Did you do anything specifically to prepare for this tournament?
I really wanted to focus on what equipment to bring, just because you're limited here with 9 balls. So I just want to narrow that down to at least 12, and I can kick out the other 3 here.
Kick out a couple other 3 too. So where did you start? Did you just start on day 1, like shift 1, or did you?
I just kind of found an open spot.
You just kind of found an open
I think
spot.
I went 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, and then I went back to 3 just to see any transition.
Back to 3. So on the patterns, did you have any pieces that were lining up on multiple patterns, or are you a different ball on every pattern?
Urethane in general was pretty good on at least the first 4 patterns. Now I brought 4 urethane balls, so kind of like a hodgepodge of what urethane ball to throw on which, just for the best look.
Yeah.
But the house characteristics, I think, are going to kind of take over here. The patterns aren't very different in length, but I think on fresh, people will be pretty comfortable, but how they break down is going to be where the better bowlers come from.
It comes there. Did you happen to bowl on that day 5 pattern?
I did. I did. That is intimidating to look at as a lane graph,
Yeah.
and it did not disappoint in this stuff.
So it was tough, yeah. We mentioned that earlier too. If you did happen to catch yesterday's shift of the USA team trials, the pattern was actually similar.
Okay.
It looked similar. I mean, slight difference in it, and as you say, it did not disappoint. Some bowlers did well, some did not on there. So you were saying your urethane is going to be one of your main choices. What are you throwing, the black hammer, or
the black looks pretty good on some of them. The purple looks good on the patterns that the black doesn't. It's just going to be kind of what you're feeling that day or that game.
Yeah, no, that's good. So, but besides the Team Canada team trials and all that, what are your plans for the upcoming year?
Well, it kind of starts immediately after, almost. I get maybe a 10-day break until I have to leave to start the season.
So you are doing the PBA season again?
I will do the full PBA season.
Full PBA season. So here you're going to be able to see Graham on the full PBA season. I believe, is that Delaware?
Delaware is the first one.
Delaware is the first one. So lots of bowling, lots of traveling. Do you even have, when you're bowling out, do you even have a home base? Like you're saying you're staying with college roommates, stuff like that?
If there's a couple days where I can get home, I try to get home as much as possible just to spend time with the kids and my wife, just because it's hard being away for so long.
Yeah, definitely.
So anytime I can spend with them is a blessing.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You bowled probably, about 2 hours of the 2.5, so lots of work. You got lots of work ahead of you coming up, so we'll look for you in the standings, and good luck.
Thank you. It should be fun. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. That was Graham Fa, ladies and gentlemen.
to slide this up the top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even see me.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. So things are thinning out a little bit here now. Some of the bowlers are finishing up. They figured out which equipment they want to register. And yeah, here in the chat, Austin says, greatest lefty in Canada for Graham. Hard to argue with that one. And it's too bad you're not here, Austin. You really bowled well the last time we were here 2 years ago at Trials. And we got Tom from Sweden. Yeah, so we just spoke on this earlier about the wild card. So how they do it is we bowl this team trials event here, and they're going to take the top 6 men and 6 women to make the team. And then Team Canada can hand out an additional 4 spots to the team to make a team of 10. It's up to their discretion if they want to give 4 or if they want to give less. But a maximum of 10, I believe, they're allowed to have on the team. Yes, Art, Jason, he was quite the bowler. He's not bowling at all anymore. Not even just the league or anything. Art says he wants to see your brother back on the lanes.
Okay, I'll join in here on that comment, wanting my brother to come back. So it's been, I want to say, about 9 or 10 years since he bowled. We were doing the Ball Reviews Canada. We were doing all that around 2014, 2015. It was just way too much going on for either one of us. And a retired bowler's life, yeah. So he had too much going on, so he decided to do that. He had an injury with his shoulder, was part of that, and then he hurt his back at work. He's got all that rectified now. He's feeling pretty good, doing well. I know he might even be watching on here, but I think one day he might be back. As soon as life slows down a little bit, maybe his daughter gets older, work slows down, maybe even when he retires, he'll come back. But I know the fire's still inside. He still follows it. He still watches it. It's there. So keep your fingers crossed. Maybe one day we will see the return of Jay Kovac. I'd like to see it. I'd like to bowl again with my brother. We'll see one day what happened. But yeah, back then, it was a pretty good team. There was already on there JD. I know Lionel's here. He was in that group. Mark Buffa, Guillaume, he's here. There's a whole bunch of good guys on there. Yeah, JD, your bro's a beast now. Yeah, he's in the gym every day. He's working out, so. Yeah, no, he's doing pretty good. He might watch this. He might be reading all of it, but we'll see. So back to a little bit of the bowling action here. So things are really starting to slow down. We only got about 8 minutes left of the practice. I don't think too many people are left bowling. If you saw on the one camera, we've got the congregation of the 4 PBA guys down there, probably chatting it up, sharing their notes, seeing what's going on, or maybe they're just talking in general. I don't know.
Yep. Most of the bowlers are getting off of the lanes now, packing up and filling out their sheets. Each bowler is able to register 9 balls this year. Previously it was 8. I'm not sure why they've upped it to 9, but they have. So it'll typically be a spare ball. You're going to see a lot of the men for sure having a urethane ball in the bag, and then the rest is up to their discretion, I guess, to fill out.
Yeah,
but
we
you
did
will see that commonly.
You weren't able to hear the conversation I had with Graham, but I believe he said he had 4 urethane balls.
Oh, wow.
So I think you're going to see him at least starting heavy on the urethane. And he thinks the scores are going to be higher on the fresh. And then he said he thinks it's really going to come down to who manages the transition once it comes down from there. I mean, that is basically a professional bowler talking. That's bowling nonstop, and the transition that those guys see on the tour and all that is going to be a little bit different here. But we'll see.
Yeah, it'll certainly be an exciting week. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys the action and just to experience this from a different perspective, because I've experienced it from the bowler's perspective. If you guys have not seen my videos, you should check out Kurt Ridgewell on YouTube. I vlogged the last 3 years of team trials across multiple days, so lots of videos out there. Check out the playlist on my channel.
Yeah, something a little different. Like you say, now you're helping me out here. I really appreciate it, especially today. We did something a little different with having a camera wandering around, getting a little different. Tomorrow, all the cameras are going to be fixed up above the lane, so we'll have 3. We'll have one on the low end, one here in the middle, and then we'll have one down on the women. So I believe we're going to have 2 cameras on the men and one on the women that will be rotating in and out. I do have to talk to Guillaume and Kathy, figure out what the, I'm not sure what the lane jump is between games. Do you know in the past?
I'm unaware. I know they have changed this year. Darren would know. I should make him hop in here real quick is what I should do.
Okay, just give me a second here. We'll be back in 1 minute.
All right, guys. So I'm joined here with our defending champion from last year, Darren Alexander. Practice day just wrapped up. You just finished filling out your ball sheet. And what did you see in a practice day? What is it you look for when you go out there?
So for me, big thing is just getting a feel of the center again, because, I mean, it's been probably 2 years since we've been here, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And, I mean, biggest thing I noticed, approaches are a lot slicker than what I'm used to, so getting that dialed in. I got a little soreness I'm battling right now, so just feeling that out and trying to just make sure my body feels right is the first step that I was really looking for. And then just learning some new equipment right now and trying to figure out what balls shape the way I kind of want to see, what I was missing before that I have now. Kind of see where the hook is on each pattern, right? That's the biggest thing, is finding where the hook is, and Laurentian, the gutter hooks a lot normally, so seeing how far I can stay right on every pattern was kind of the first step.
Okay. Yeah, for first time in a long time, Darren is a free agent, so he's been testing out some new equipment. And you feeling okay with it?
Yeah, feeling confident. I like the shapes I'm seeing. I mean, it's definitely different, but I think it's in a good way. And then I still have some Old Faithfuls that I'm going to keep in the bag, obviously, too.
Yeah.
I mean, phase 2, it's hard not to have that in the bag if you have the option to. I have a Fate that I put in just because when they transition a higher RG ball like that, really, really clean ball that we might need later in a block. So just a really mixed bag this year, but a lot of shapes I like, and I think I have a good variety and hopefully yield some success out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really excited here to watch this competition this week. We're trying to figure out, do you know what the skip is going to be this year? I know they've changed it.
So left lane's still going left, right lane's going right, but I'm not 100% sure of how much each pair is moving. I think the men are going to be going 2 left, like skip 2 to the left, skip 2 to the right, and I think the women are going to just be skipping 1 pair to the left, 1 pair to the right.
Okay.
Crossing majority of the house each day and trying to hit as many pairs as possible.
Yeah, which is good because we want to have everybody we can on our live stream. So, yeah, be sure to tune in again tomorrow, guys, as we start bright and early, 8 a.m. here at Laurentian Lanes, and hoping our defending champion can run it back and have himself a great tournament.
Yeah, hoping to have some good luck, good success. A lot of the tour guys were able to come this year, so it's going to be nice to have them here. Some really talented bowlers, so you guys definitely tune in if you're able to, because this is the best in Canada we got, so you can learn a little bit while you're watching and cheer on your favorites.
Anything else you want to add?
No, just want to say appreciate everybody back home who does watch. Shout out to Joe Po Grips, and hopefully we throw some strikes this week.
Wonderful. I'm sure you will. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun out there. thank you guys. I think we're going to wrap up very shortly here. So thank you guys for tuning in. About 4 bowlers left on the lanes, so not too much going on anymore. Everyone is finishing up. We will see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning here on the Canadian Tenpin Federation YouTube channel.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your bell so you know when they're bowling.
There you go.
Have a
Turn
good
on
one.
notifications. Thanks, Darren.
Okay, so as you just saw, that was Kurt and Darren Alexander. I think Kurt said goodbye. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. We will be live at 7:45 a.m. Just getting ready for, that will be the practice session, block 7:45, and they will start competition at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, it was a little bit different today. We had one camera running around. Tomorrow we're going to have all 3 up on the lanes, rotating between. If you guys have anyone that you're looking to follow, hopefully you'll be able to see them, but they'll be in there depending on their lane rotation and all that. Going to try and cover everybody. And then I will post tomorrow. We have Guillaume from Buffa Bowling Distribution here running the Lexer software. So there is going to be about 10 minutes of practice, 10 more minutes, but we're going to cut off early. Basically, everyone on our cameras are done. I've put away the other cameras, so we're going to cut off in a minute. But yeah, so tomorrow I will post the link to the online standings Lexer. It's not live scoring, but it's live standings, so when the scores are updated.
The remaining bowlers will be turning off the lanes in roughly 10 minutes.
So Guillaume will be doing all that, and once he gives me the signal after each game, I will share that link. I'll pin it to the top of the chat, but be sure all of the live stream links are there in the on our homepage on the CTF page, so you can follow them. So that's going to do it for now from CTF. This was our 2.5-hour practice session here at Laurentian Lanes in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, for the 2025 Canadian Team Trial. So we're going to shut it down now. Stay tuned tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.